coding was never my thing. In fact, literally, I remember when C was taught, I was like, what exactly I am reading. I wasn't able to grasp anything, and more of a mechanical guy since I come from a family of mechanical engineers.
So in short, you made a transition from as a professor to a data scientist.
Yep.
Right? Amazing. Okay.
So
Not done this profile, guys. Okay. So
I remember you saying that you don't need to know much about DL and the advanced algorithms to get into a job. And to be honest, I got placed in 3 different companies. Yep, just with the help of ML. At the age of 29, if I was able to make a transition, anyone can make a transition. It's just you need to give a try and you're 100%, and you'll be able to do wonders. It doesn't matter that whether you're from coding background, non-coding background. If you have the zeal, if you have the interest, you can get into it and you can do it. Keep working hard and follow this guy. He's gonna let you land in a job that you really wanted. I could do it, so you can also do it. I'm glad that I'm able to meet you. I was really excited when someone from iNeuron called me, can you attend this podcast? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm not gonna miss this opportunity.
hello guys, we have Sathyajeet Mohanty with us, and who has recently made a successful career transition into data science. We'll get to know more about it. How did he make the transition and all? So welcome Satyajeet again. It's amazing to have you in this podcast. So Satyajeet is from FSDS November batch, and okay Satyajeet, to start with, let's talk about your brief intro and your previous background, education and all, and about your current company.
So talking about my education, it's a bit haywire. I've completed my bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Okay, you're also from mechanical engineering.
So coding was never my thing. In fact, literally, I remember when C was taught, I was like, what exactly I am reading. I wasn't able to grasp anything, and more of a mechanical guy since I come from a family of mechanical engineers. My dad was also a mechanical engineer, so I was more inclined towards that, and I wanted to be make a career in mechanical engineering, but things are never planned. Something else is planned always for you. So then I did my master's as well in mechanical engineering. Even I was the topper of the batch, and post that I started working as a professor in mechanical engineering in Odisha.
So in short, you made a transition from as a professor to a data scientist.
Yep.
Like that, right? Amazing. Okay.
So
Not done this profile, guys. Okay. So okay, great.
So I was really skeptical initially whether I'll be able to make a transition or not, but yeah, I came across your videos in YouTube, went through them. It was like, I think it felt me like, is this what the modern coding looks like just write it, just like plain English or something like that. I write it. So I thought like, okay, let me give it a try. I joined in the November batch. By that time, you completed Python. I was like, I went through all the previous videos and completed. I was going through and then started with my ML part. And I remember you saying that you don't need to know much about, DL and the advanced algorithms to get into a job. And to be honest, I got placed in 3 different companies.
Okay. Just with the help of ML.
Yeah, just with the help of ML.
Okay.
Basic SQL is what we need. Everyone needs basic SQL skill. So if you're good with SQL, you can make a transition very easily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now let's talk about this. Like, what made you to get into data science? First of all, what thought process you had? Like, let's say I got into data science because I could understand everything in data science, and I felt that okay, this is the thing that I really want to do. What about
for me? It was a need of the hour.
Need of the hour.
So pandemic was going on, and I was looking like to make a transition. I don't want it to be in a teaching profession anymore. So I was looking for what exactly I can do. So being from mechanical engineering background, I have good knowledge in mathematics. So I was looking like what exactly I can do with this mathematics and mechanical engineering background. So coming, looking for various opportunities like, software engineering, something like that. I thought you have to know a lot of things to get into all these things. Then I I don't know, by God's grace or something, I came across your video. I started watching them, and I felt like this is something which I can do. I can understand data, I can understand mathematics, I can understand the statistics behind it. I've learned all this in my engineering career, so can I give it a try, I thought. So I enrolled in that and in your course, and by God's grace, or the teaching skill that you have, things that came into me, I was able to understand things very easily. It was like very what do you call, fluid kind of thing. अच्छे से समझ में आ रहा था. The fluidity of the things were very amazing for me, and I thought like, let's start. I'm ready now. I'll go for interviews.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk about this. Like you just said that you got an appreciation letter from your managers and all. So let's talk about that use case, like for what you specifically got, and that is recently, right?
So it's like we were trying to predict the patient journey. So suppose a patient is diagnosed with a disease X. So there are different stages of treatment, right? So initially we'll be giving them a particular line of therapy, and then we'll be, if it is not working or something, then we'll be trying to see whether they are moving to the other advanced treatment or not. Now initially they had a solution with them which was done through the analytical team of our client, and they were only able to grab something like 10% of the patients who are moving to advanced therapy, because the medicine or the drug that we have, it is related to advanced therapy. So we wanted to see how how many patients are actually migrating. So but the analytical solution that they had was only able to capture 10%. Now this project came to me, my manager, he called me, like, in our team, okay, how many of you guys actually have data science skills? So although we work in data science team, we work for commercial data sciences, most of our work was with AI data engineering. Okay, so he asked, so I volunteered myself that I'll take up this job. So started working on it on December 6th, and by December 7th I had to go back to hometown. So he's like calling me at night 2 o'clock, Satya, can you do this? I'm like, okay, I'll do this. Till the time I was like going to catch my flight, I was on the way and I was literally coding and working with him. I landed, I started working on it, and we had various permutation and combinations of the data that we had. Data was literally changed. I was like fed up, like what exactly we are doing, data is changing every time. But somehow we were able to build the models. Like we divided the data into initially we were like thinking how to approach, and approaching was very difficult for us. Like how do we predict, like can we predict all the patients on the same scale? Like someone is migrating in 1 month, someone is migrating 1 year, someone is migrating 4 years. So how are we going to predict? Then we came up with an idea that let's build cohorts. We divided the data set into 4 different cohorts, where we, in the first cohort, we'll be keeping those patients who are migrating within 1 year, and then who are migrating within 1 and 2 years, then 2 to 3 years, and 3 to 4 years. And that's how the business statement was defined for us. Now we started with various modeling techniques. So we started with initially with let's say we started the base model. Okay, so since it was a classification problem, we started with let's see how decision tree works on it. And you won't believe, the first model that I built was having 100% accuracy, 100% precision, 100% recall. Okay. my EVP came to me and he's like, congratulations. Okay, so basically it was not my fault. The data had some issues. The data engineering team had some issues. So I then started eyeballing the data, and I found out a lot of issues with the data. Then I talked with them and they came up with new version of data. Then we were like, now how to do? We went ahead, we did again the data EDA part, and we saw that it's a imbalance problem. Now how to tackle the imbalance problem? Like we tried SMART, we tried Atomic Links, a lot of things, but that didn't work out. Now what to do was the biggest question. We went through various research papers, me and my manager, and we came up with XGBoost. We went to the documentation, we found out that XGBoost had an inbuilt feature for handling the class imbalance problem. Now we started with it. took some time, did various hyperparameter tuning approach, but we are not getting the exact result, the desired result that we have wanted. So it took some time, and we figure out like, let's go ahead with hyperopt. We used hyperopt. We were able to tune the model to some extent, but still we are not able to get a desired value. Like the clients were like, they have budget limitation, so with recall they wanted the precision to be tuned as well. So, and as you know, recall and precisions are like, you know, kind of inversely proportional to each other. So we were having an issue, like if you're increasing one, other is decreasing. If one is like something like they're colliding a 50-50. Now then I was helpless. I went to my manager. He said, you know, only three things. Remember one thing: these tuning techniques will help you to tune up to a certain extent. Now it's your knowledge which will help you to tune. Now take the most three important parameters, take various combination of them, like increase them, decrease them, and try to tune and see the result. Whether the variables, means the performance parameters, are they increasing or decreasing. I got that idea. I started doing that, and I reached a point where, you know, if I'm increasing the value, the performance parameters are increasing. Now with that we reached around 70% precision and recall, and we went to our client. They're like, you know, this is not a finance data that you will get something around 90% accuracy. 70% is way good for us, and let's do it for all the cohorts. We went ahead. The SOW is still now February end, but by mid of January we are done with it. We deployed it in our client's environment. We made a pipeline of it. Now it is going to be in production in this month end.
Okay, perfect, amazing. So let's just talk about like how did iNeuron help you to make this particular transition, especially mentors, support team, and all.
I remember wherever I was, you know, looking for ML techniques like in-depth intuitions, mathematical and geometrical intuition, I was not able to get anywhere. Then you came up with those 7 days sessions, I remember, where you were like, you know, we'll not go, you know, like how model works or something, we'll deep dive into the modeling techniques. So there I learned a lot about, you were talking about that Stanford professor, right, from whom you learned. You had a blue book, I remember. So you said, this is my blue book, and whenever I get doubt, I come back to this. So I started, you know, I started the same habit. I took my notebook out, and whatever you were telling, I was just jotting them down. And yeah, Madhulika, I remember, she was the one who was assigned to me at the time. So I was like, you know, applying everywhere but not getting a call or something like that was happening. So she said, you know, this thing happens, keep trying. And I remember I was rejected in EXL in the final round. So there was a question on SQL which was asked to me, and I was not able to answer that. So I went to her like, how do I improve my SQL skills? She said, you know, follow these steps, and you'll see that you'll come up with it. Next, whatever interview or whatever written test I gave, I cleared everything. I cleared like Demand Helm, which is a Mumbai-based company founded by ex-Amazon applied scientist. Then I got an offer from this company. What is that? One of the big four, EY. And then from the current company.
So obviously this was the highest package, I guess, so you went there.
No, nothing like that. Because I wanted to be in Bangalore, so I chose this company. And after that also I got an offer from HP. But since I was pretty comfortable with this atmosphere.
So 4 offers.
Yeah, 4 offers.
Okay, amazing. Okay, now let's talk about like see, people already, you're from the mechanical background, right? And there are many people who are coming from non-programming background or non-tech background, and they also think that they want to make a transition, but they hesitate to do that. What do you think? Because what I feel is that in data science, domain knowledge is superior than anything else.
It is very superior. Okay. Coding skill come, you know, even if you don't know coding, you can work in some other, like if you're uncomfortable with Python, you can write it in SQL. You can write in something else. Nowadays, you know, coding is becoming really easy. but domain knowledge is something which you should grasp at any cost. Literally, I come from life science background, so means I'm working for a life science company, so it's a very niche domain. It's not like you'll find some data set available anywhere. So it was like very difficult for me, like when we come to the claims data, we come to the sales data, there are certain terms which we are really not able to understand till today. I'm not able to understand. It's been like around 10 months I've been working there and I'm not able to understand, but still I go around Google, but I'm not able to find out. So you need to approach the domain experts. You need to understand the data. First of all, understanding data is very, very important. If you're not able to understand the data, you won't be able to understand the business problem. If you're not able to understand the business problem, you'll not be able to figure out a way to approach to that problem. Sometimes the question might be solved with an EDA. Sometimes the question need model building. Sometimes the question need just hypothesis testing. So if you're not able to understand the domain, not able to understand the data, we won't be able to understand what exactly we are going to solve, and that's where we lag actually. And coding comes, it is a practice kind of thing. The more you practice, the more you will have hands-on, the more you will be able to do the things perfectly. And I remember you also told the same thing in one of the FSDS batch. I was asking like how can I improve my skill. I asked you said the more you practice, the more you learn. Now I can say, you give me any statement, I'll able to write a code on it. It's that easy.
Okay, so that's amazing. Now let's talk about those things, like for the people who are from non-technical or other background, and since they're hesitating, they really want to get into data science or the analytics industry, but they're hesitating, thinking because some of their friends will say that no, it is not possible. What would you like to talk or to them, right? What advice would you like to give them? Is it possible to actually make a transition into data science coming from any domain or any background?
Okay, so I would like to tell them that at the age of 29, if I was able to make a transition, anyone can make a transition. It's just you need to give a try and you're 100%, and you'll be able to do wonders. It doesn't matter that whether you're from coding background, non-coding background. If you have the zeal, if you have the interest, you can get into it and you can do it.
Okay, perfect. So obviously what I believe is that unless and until you don't work hard, unless and until you don't have that thing that I want to do this, right, hearing to some other people and probably making a decision is always a bad idea. Okay, let's talk about the challenges that you probably faced while learning data science.
First challenge was learning coding. It was like
but I think that was just for 1 month, I guess, since you were continuously practicing, and after that
I got a hands-on on it. Then second part was like learning the different languages. Like it is not that you will be learning Python and you're done with it. Sometimes when you go out of your comfort zone, or when you work in a company, the data that you'll be having is like crores of crores of records, right? So there Python won't help you out because it has some limitation, like up to 100 MB it can perform very well, but after that it won't be able to perform. Now you need to learn the parallel processing, PySpark. So it's like you keep on learning, and there's some things like always your idea you won't be able to match with them, like in the industry. Now you have to think, how will I do some tasks are given to you, how will I approach to that? So that brainstorming is very, very important, and I guess people lack brainstorming. So when I started my career in this life science domain, the first thing that I learned was PySpark. So learning is very, very important, and we should start learning everything that comes to our way. First, especially like the PySpark was a hurdle for me, learning different languages. Then how to write the codes in different syntax comes. When I'm writing code in Python, the code in PySpark is completely different. The syntax are different. So tackling that problem. Then even sklearn sometimes don't work, doesn't work in PySpark. So you have to learn what else library you have, how to incorporate them. These challenges will come, but these challenges are like momentary. So once you know a particular language, other language will be like, you you know the logic, right, how to build. Now just know the syntax. So syntax learning will take like 1 week to 2 weeks, something like that. And another problem that I faced was oops. So basically all the code that are being written are written in oops. I know oops, I have learned it, but the way it's been written in industry is like way different. So then I was like, how to read this?
Probably in that end-to-end project which you have taken and the sensor fault detection, those kind of projects you saw, right? Have you attended those classes, because it is completely based on oops only?
Actually, I was scared at that time seeing oops. Okay, so I had some good friends in company. Like, you know, they're like, we won't teach you, but we'll let you know how to read it. So they said, go to this main statement, read it, go below it, read one by one.
Yeah, you just need to debug it properly.
Just debug it, and within like the next task was for me to write a notebook on a particular logic. Within 1 hour I completed. It was completed and it was incorporated in the pipeline itself.
Okay, amazing. Okay, now let's play some rapid round. Okay, so I'll be talking about one word, whatever things comes in your mind without thinking you have to say. Okay, so what is the first word that comes? Like, who's your role model?
My dad.
Your dad. Okay, and whenever you think about iNeuron, what is the first word that comes?
Sudhanshu.
What is the success mantra?
Keep working hard.
Keep working hard. Okay, and if you choose between money and success, what would be? Success, definitely. So yes, this was it. This was just a small rapid round. I quickly wanted to get some ideas about you. But yes, this was an amazing podcast. You gave a lot of ideas to the entire audience. Any final motivational thing or advice that you want to give to the people who are currently trying to make a transition into data?
Keep working hard and follow this guy. You know, he's gonna let you land in a job that you really wanted. I could do it, so you can also do it.
Thank you, so kind of you.
No, really, because you know, I'm glad that I'm able to meet you. I was really excited when someone from iNeuron called me, can you attend this podcast? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm not gonna miss this opportunity.
Yes, thanks, so kind of you. So yes guys, this was it from our side. I hope you like this particular podcast. We'll see you all in the next podcast. Thank you, Satyajeet.
Thank you, Krish.
Coming again, and again we'll be connected. We'll also give your LinkedIn ID in the description of this particular video so that people can connect to you. Please do guide them in your free time whenever someone asks you any questions related to transition, because I'm telling you there are many people from mechanical background and wants to make a transition to data.
I literally get 6 to 7 recommendations or request on LinkedIn every day.
Okay, great, perfect. So yes guys, this was it from our side. We'll see you all in the next podcast. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.